Clash Royale.
I think it's got to be TY. I don't think you want to PvP again. Oh, but I'm wrong. Stats is going to put Classic into his third Protoss versus Protoss here tonight. And this may come back to bite the Rolster fans here because this is very risky. Clearly Classic came prepared. His game, last game, was incredible. And he outplayed Zest big time. This map is very different. And I have to wonder if really Stats was prepared for Classic on this map. I mean, I doubt it. I don't think they thought he would make it this far if he came out at all. So he has to kind of do something on the fly here, and Classic seems really good in the Protoss versus Protoss today. So I'm a little bit scared right now for KT Rolster.
Well, Stats is pretty good at this map. We've seen him come out on this map many times. He defeated SOS on this map. Not an easy feat to do, of course. So I think it's going to be a very even PvP here between these two players.
All right, guys, we are going to jump into this map right away. Let's see if Stats can tie it up, or if this player, Classic, will win his third Protoss versus Protoss and put SKT on match point. It's time. Let's jump into New Gettysburg. Down here in the bottom right, the third Protoss for this team, it is Stats.
Statsu.
Stats.
Down here in the bottom left in the orange. 2 kills already. It is Classic.
Just looking for the triple kill. Will yet again be denying vision, it looks like, with that pylon placement. Very intelligent move. And yet again, our names are going to be opposite position-wise of the players, so please forgive me if I say the wrong name once or twice. This is actually done due to the fact that these teams have official colors. They're used about 95% of the time. Sometimes they're not used, we don't know why.
They've been consistent for the playoffs, I suppose.
Yeah.
Got a couple of fans coming down. Not sure. Oh, it's their first time coming.
Yeah.
And something about his girlfriend. They were together. I don't know.
It was at a weird angle. I think a Korean would have had trouble reading that, so no worries. He also wrote over like the SK part there at the back.
Yeah, that's the rough part.
Yep. Anyways, obviously 2 gates for both players. We're not going to break the rules of this matchup. No super in the booth, so we're not seeing any crazy fast nexus or anything like that. But this map has a really short rust distance for Adepts. And you can block the Adepts with Stalkers on the bridge, so that's something that we could potentially see here. Let's wait and see what these guys have planned. I think it's probably going to be Adepts for both players, but the Stalker potential for Harass is there because this bridge is so narrow. You have to really shade correctly. If you just rush out your first shade to try to get the Adepts there first, you could get caught on the bridge, well, we've seen before. So
Myungshik versus Stats, yeah, it was Stats on this map actually for game number 1 yesterday, and Myungshik, he put a pylon, or maybe that was Stats that had a pylon out there, and they both went Adepts, and someone was baited by the pylon and tried to kill it, and the other guy just sent his Mothership Core and the 2 Adepts into the main and got 10 probe kills.
Yep.
It was insane. And yeah, Stats got that lead, and Myungshik was really far behind, and then Myungshik won the game. So I remember Stats saying he was really disappointed by losing to that kind of comeback win from Myungshik. So,
by the way, really interesting here, we had a Zealot made and then canceled, and he only went 1 Stalker to get a faster Nexus, so it's a really greedy build here, again, from Classic. And I'm liking how he's basically saying, I'm so good, I'm going to take every risk. And when your team is up 2-1 and you have 2 kills in a row and you're playing a mirror matchup like this, I say take the risk, because if you lose, it's tough, but you still have the momentum lead, and I think that's really important. Okay, here comes the Shades here. The Stalker is busy in the main base, but there is that wall, and the Adepts do get denied.
Let's see what kind of damage he can get done here, or is scouting as well. The second Stalker is seen, and he has to back off. So he did scout with the Adepts at the front, basically everything that's here, so he knows what's going on. No tech has been made just yet.
Ooh. Oh! 4 health left. So close there. You know, I really like this kind of build for Classic because, okay, you killed a pylon. I have a Nexus. You know, it's like, I don't even want to overcharge that. I'm not interested. Even if the Mothership Core was back earlier, he's like, no, it's fine. I still have a Nexus.
They need to lie on their back and shoot up, man, because that Mothership Core is so low. I wish there was some way to do that. Make your Adepts stationary for like 3 minutes as they slowly sit down and lean on their backs and then shoot up.
Hey man, I got David Kim on my speed dial. I'll call him. You got a new balance idea here.
It's good.
You know, because we need more units in StarCraft 2 that switch modes. 4 kills, pretty solid. And he has his own Nexus finishing up now, and this Nexus didn't get much value yet. So this actually works out pretty well. He also scouted that Robo, it looks like. Can you confirm?
Yeah, he did.
So that's really important. And look at this. This is a sign of an experienced player. No StarCraft fans, this is not for a late cannon rush. This is, I want to have an upgrade lead all game long because I know that this game is going 3 base, 4 base. I can sense it, and I'm going to take this greedier Forge because I want to get ahead early. It's this game sense of, I know what we're going to do later on in this game, and I want to be one upgrade ahead of you. I'm thinking about not the game in 2 minutes, in 3 minutes. I'm thinking about the game in 5 minutes and 6 minutes later from now, chronoing that upgrade as well. So I like this play a lot.
It's really cool. All it does is delay your Twilight Council, but he's still ahead of Classic. You know, the thing that he's behind on was the Nexus, but it's not going to matter, as you said, once we get 3-4 minutes in, maybe he takes a quicker third base because he knows that Classic is not going to have a timing. I'm very curious to see, who takes the first third base. Who is going to be like, oh, no, I've realized this, but I have to be a little bit careful. When is that timing going to come where they feel comfortable enough to take it, but greedy enough to take it before the other player? And are the opponents going to be scouting this? We do have a Warp Prism coming out here from Stats, or rather Classic, so maybe he wants to get a bit aggressive.
And with the quick Glaives, I feel like he's definitely not going to be taking a third base right now. Look at this scout, by the way. It's coming around the top of the map. He's looking for 2 things specifically. Look at this. This is so smart. This is so important. First thing he's looking for is a hidden Templar Archives. That's why he took the long path. He's looking for a hidden Templar Archives because he knows Classic likes to hide that, likes to go storm drops. He swings around, sees a third base. Also, he recontrols the watchtower, and he knows that if a drop comes through, it's not going to come through the bottom because that's too obvious. He misses the middle with that scout, but I think he's really, really looking for that Templar Archives, which is coming up, by the way. And the drop is coming through the middle. He does not have vision of this. It's the one thing he did slightly miss with that hallucination scout.
This just does have 4 Adepts. It's going to be good to pressure third base that's coming up, or even to drop into the back of the natural and, just snipe a bunch of probes and then pick up. We've seen that a lot on this map, actually.
He's also going to time it out really well with the Glaives upgrade. It's going to be ready right when this hits, it looks like.
Look at that.
Denied! That is so huge! Classic is on fire right now!
And he drops in here, just like I was saying, trying to snipe some of these probes. It didn't look like he got any.
Yeah.
But even so, the idea is there.
Hey, I mean, he popped the barrier. That's a small win.
And he delayed this third Nexus. As you said, this is the most important thing about this entire little exchange between these 2 players.
Also, he did not go for Storm. He's just building his Archon count first, which is interesting. Just not comfortable versus Stats to get that Psionic Storm upgrade. As the Glaives do finish here now, 4 Stats as well. Dead Stalker here, man.
Eventually. Perhaps.
I think.
Shades again.
I'm pretty sure that's a Dead Stalker.
Spanks it again. Yeah, the Stalker's getting trapped. Oh, he needs some micro to get the second hit.
Oh, man. This is...
Okay, the Stalker's given up on life. He actually just gave up. Now will these players going into the middle of the map?
He has the +1 advantage, and +2 is shortly going to be ready. Oh, he sees the Observer too. He's going to snipe it. Am I wrong? No, I thought he saw it. He moved at a weird time. This is not going to go well for Stats. This is not a fight he can take. Like you said, the +1 advantage isn't going to matter in the mid-game. Look at this tiny, puny army. Hallucinated Archons here as well. He does have the +1, but not the +2. Does he have enough? They both have Glaives. Guardian Shields.
He does have that 1 warp in that's going to help him so much, and that +1 really doing work here. A very, very close fight between these 2 players.
Actually, looks like he might have enough. +2 is 12 seconds away. He does have to back off here. This is not a game-losing fight for Classic, at least not yet. He needs another warp in. He's probably so close to being ready for it.
Look at this, Stats is just on the run. He just wants to save as much as possible, get back to his mothership core, and make sure he keeps that Archon alive.
That Archon needs to pick it up. He needs to pick that up. It's so important right now.
Is he going to give up the third?
He might. He's about to, or he has +2, you know. He has a 2 upgrade lead. Maybe he feels like that's enough.
Oh,
the time warp. He has to retreat for now. That's such an important time warp here.
He's buying so much time, and he has another warp in here. +2 right now to +0. No upgrades for Classic.
Nice snipe on that Archon. He doesn't have any pylons here to overcharge. They're on the right side, doing a little bit of zoning, not a lot. Good micro here. He needs another warp in if he can get it. This is just too many units for Classic, even though he has the upgrade advantage. But here's another warp in for both players. This is such a close fight right now, but it looks like maybe Classic has enough.
Those 2 Immortals in the back here, though, for Stats are really doing a huge amount of damage, and that's going to turn the tides just barely. He's going to live and win the fight.
It looks like he will win the fight and win the game. He kept the Nexus alive. He doesn't have a lot of probes over there right now, but he has that +2 advantage, and he has a larger army massively right now. Looks like he's not going to counterattack yet. This Warp Prism being alive is so huge for Classic because he can actually continue to threaten with this. And that means that Stats can't counterattack and kill him until that is dead. And it's going to be a tall order to kill it with 1 Stalker here for anti-air. It is starting to get a little bit lower. He's trying to use this very aggressively to get any probes he can, actually losing an adept there.
It's like 1 adept for 1 probe, and now just trying to overcharge, do whatever defense he can. Maybe he's going to get to the main here. Oh, okay, there's a warp in of adepts to push this back.
It's funny because he doesn't, it's like he's trying to force Stalkers to be warping because they're just not as good as adepts in the fight. But Stats is just not going to warp in any Stalkers. He's like, no, I will just let the Prism
live. I won't do it.
He's now getting the +1 armor. And there's not a forge on the map, as far as I know, for Classic. I don't think he's even made one. He's just totally neglected.
Nope. No forge.
He's just letting that part of things go.
And soon it is going to matter. You know, you could see just barely how that +2 like kept him alive with the 2 Immortals doing a lot of damage in the back, very well protected. But once it gets to 2-1 and then like 2-2 perhaps, it's going to make a huge difference because you're 4 upgrades ahead of your opponent.
Yeah. Also, Classic he kept making probes. He's way up in worker count right now. He had better mining at this 3rd base, so he has a better economy. So I think Stats feels like he needs to use this upgrade advantage now. 8 seconds to go on that armor.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, look at the army supplies right now. Extremely, extremely close. Okay. That Warp Prism also is very, very key. Cannot afford to lose that here.
This is so risky. I don't think he's obviously not going to commit now, but... Oh my God.
Does it!
He does commit, and he's in a better position here too. He could snipe the Cyber Core, but actually would stop Adept Warpins. That's huge. If he gets that core, he can actually shoot it. Looks like he's not going to go for it. He's unpowered several gateways. He has a concave. He jumps out. He doesn't get the core though. This is so crazy, the game we're watching right now. Oh, that Archon micro, he get a huge hit on those Adepts. So sick. Oh, here comes the fight though. Let's see, does he have enough? He has the upgrade lead. I think he will win this.
Another warp in here, and I think that's going to be enough. He's fighting away from those pylons.
Stats.
A great maneuver by Stats.
Stats was such a sick play here. The upgrade lead, he knew he had it. He forced that awkward fight with the Shade. Will he do it again? I think he will. Nope, he's not going to, but he forces the units back, and now he controls the 3rd base. And that is a dead Nexus and perhaps a dead Classic here.
There's no way he can defend it at this point. That's going to be it. Stats is actually going to take him down on this map.
Down goes the Nexus. Stats is going to tie this series up 2-2. And, I mean, now he doesn't even have to commit. He's like, now I'm 3 upgrades ahead of you. And what are you going to do? Okay, he's gonna show the Shade. Does not commit. I really don't feel like he has to, but he's so ahead that he can almost do whatever he wants.
He's playing it very safe, you know. Wants to wait. There is no more energy on that mothership core, so.
Nice snipe on the Archon. Okay. Good target there by Classic. He's got a nice split here. Oh, this is so funny. Here we go. He's going to start the fight. There's the Shade and onto the Archons. No target, though. The Archons get massive value. Now he targets. And this is just too many units here, too many upgrades, and that should be it here. Stats sighs a sigh of relief. GG, KT Roaster bringing us to a 2-2.
What a close series and what a close game that was. Stats was on the ropes there for quite a while. He just barely holds on. You know, that very questionable move to move out on the map right before +2 finishes. It looks like he wanted to go for an attack with +2. but Classic actually met him in the middle of the map, which is very smart. I'm not sure if he got a scout on the upgrades that were coming, and he was like, okay, I can try to fight here where I have more units and he only has +1 and not +2. And that's why it went hugely in Classic's favor. It's just that when he got back home, Stats did the time warp, the overcharges, and the +2 hits, and he buys himself just barely enough time to take that fight. And then from there, it was all Classic, or rather Stats' game. So
yeah, remember what I said
close.
when he made that forge? I'm like, he's not thinking about 2 minutes, 3 minutes from now. He's thinking about 4 minutes, 5 minutes from now, when he's going to be taking these fights or better upgrades. And that's really what won him the game. The time buying techniques he used to get that upgrade lead as well, and fighting with less probes, understanding his situation. Also, knowing, we didn't really talk about this, but I think it's really important, knowing that he would never catch up in probes. He wanted to attack. He didn't even make probes. He was like, no, every 50 minerals I could spend on a probe is actually like 1/3 of an adept, basically, in resources. I don't want to spend on that. I want all the adepts. I have the upgrade advantage. 3 upgrades ahead. And there you have it. We do have a tie series, 2-2. And this forces SKT to use one of their 2 remaining players. I think this is the time you want to use Myungshik, though. I think this is where you send him out to snipe. Dark has to clean up house afterwards. But Myungshik, this is his time.
It is his time. I mean, he took out Stats in game number 1 yesterday. It's going to be a different map, King Sejong Station. Doesn't really matter. Myungshik is such a tricky player. He's so hard to just lock down in PvP. You never know what he's going to do. And it's not even like he's bringing out crazy stuff like hidden bases or anything like that. It's just really, really small touches up on his play. It's really, really fantastic to watch. And I hope he does get to come out here and base Stats into PvP. That's what I want to see, Wolf.
Yeah, that's what I want to see too, man. Looks like we're going to